everyone, if you guys are new, my name's Liz, and for today's video, I am going to do some Walmart DIYs. I was thinking of what kind of videos that I wanted to do, and I decided I wanted to give myself a little Walmart challenge. Not that it's super challenging because Walmart has a ton of crafting items, and I decided to pick up things to only use Walmart products in these DIYs. And I went all out. I did paintbrushes and paint and stenciling brushes and really just about everything that you need to only use supplies coming from Walmart. So that was my little challenge, to only use Walmart supplies, see what I could come up with. I found a ton of things there, and I was so excited because all the Walmarts that I have lived around in Arizona and in Utah, the ones that are closest to me, don't carry Waverly chalk paint anymore. They only carry the Hello Hobby chalk paint, and I personally prefer Waverly over the Hello Hobby. But I went to a Walmart that was a little bit further away with me, and I found Waverly chalk paint. And I was so excited because I was running low on my white and my black chalk paint. So I was able to stock up, I found some new colors, and I wanted to use them in today's DIYs. So without further ado, if you want to check out the DIYs that I made using only Walmart supplies, paint, paintbrushes, wood products, stencils, all the things, only Walmart products, and that's it, then just keep watching. For this DIY, I'm going to take some Waverly white chalk paint and the more squarish cutting board that I found at Walmart. I like to put my chalk paint in squeezy bottles. It just makes my life a little bit easier. And then I'm also going to take this 15-piece paintbrush set. I actually really enjoyed these. So if you're looking for some paintbrushes at the store, I would highly recommend them. And I am just going to paint my cutting board front, back, sides. I'm going to give it all one good coat of paint. Next, I'm going to take some Waverly chalk paint elephant. Now, I wanted to do some faux shiplap lines on this, and I ended up just completely redoing this. I wanted something that was a little bit more subtle and where the lines weren't super harsh, and the elephant definitely gave me harsh lines along with the way that I was doing it. If I had to do it over completely again, I probably just would have taken a paint pen and done it that way. I ended up just painting over it, and then I ended up taking some sandpaper that I also picked up from Walmart. That's where I like getting my sandpaper from, just in these sheets. And I sanded it all down and tried to make it look as roughed up as I could, especially on those lines. And then I went again and painted over them one more time, and then I ended up taking just a really light gray marker and going over those lines so that they were just really subtle. That's what I should have done in the first place. Just take a marker and do it that way. So much easier. And you can get paint pens from Walmart. So I guess technically this marker isn't from Walmart, but you can get a lot of pens and paint pens from Walmart. I'm going to grab these cardstock stencils, again, from Walmart. Of all the things are going to be from Walmart. I need to stop saying that. But I grabbed out the one with the barn. Now, a couple thoughts on these stencils. You do have to go through and punch out the little pieces, making it a little bit difficult, and you're trying not to rip them at the same time. I'm personally not a huge fan of stencils like this. I didn't really know when I got them that they were going to be just like this. But yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. And the one thing also with cardstock stencils that you have to remember, or that I remember when I'm doing this, is that the paper tends to warp when you're doing it, and you have to hold it down. It's just kind of a pain. So I don't know that I would recommend cardstock stencils. I prefer the plastic ones or the silk screen ones. That's just my personal preference. So I grabbed a pack of stencil brushes and the color Sandstone and Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just using a stencil brush and going up and down on that cutting board. Very light coats. I'm dipping my paintbrush in the paint, dabbing the majority of it off, and then doing up and down dabbing motions. So I decided that I wanted this to stand out just a little bit more. So I ended up taking a black paint pen. Again, I guess I technically failed this one because I use black paint pens. I use paint pens in general, but I decided to go around and trace each piece on the barn. I just wanted it to stand out a little bit more instead of it kind of blending in with the background. And I wasn't super precise with this. I was just kind of throwing the lines on there. I wasn't worried about getting them absolutely perfect. And I think it turned out really cute. Next, I'm going to take this pig that I just thought was adorable, and I'm going to take the Waverly chalk paint in Pink Cloud, and I'm going to give him one good coat of paint. Now, I found that several of the paints, at least the new colors from Waverly, I don't know, they didn't have the same consistency as the other paints that I have from Waverly. Is that just me? Am I going crazy? Is anybody else finding that out? At least I think that these are new colors. I just have never found them before. But they just seemed a little less thick. It seemed like the paint was thinner than normal and I had to do more than one coat. I don't know. Let me know if you found the same thing or if I'm just going nuts. And then I'm just going to take some glue and glue my pig to the front of my cutting board. Next, I'm going to take some jute cord and some ribbon that's technically trim, but I'm going to use it as ribbon because it's adorable. And I am going to measure out how much jute twine that I need, and I'm going to double that probably about 4 times, and I measure out the trim just the same length and I cut that down. I'm going to string my twine and my trim through the hole at the top, and then I just kept wrapping it around the top handle, and I went in there about 4 times just through that hole over and over again. I wanted the handle to look like everything was just kind of wrapped around it and give it a little bit more detail. Once I had everything wrapped around the handle as many times as I wanted it, I brought it around to the front and tied it in a double knot, cut off the ends, and that's it for this DIY. This one is my favorite. I think that it turned out absolutely adorable.
Popping in here really quick to let you know that I have a monthly subscription box. If you are new and you didn't know, I will have it linked in my description box. If you want monthly laser woodcut kits plus some really pretty coordinating scrapbook paper to go along with it, sign up for my monthly kit linked below.
For this DIY, I'm going to grab the chicken that I found. I found a cow, a pig, and a chicken, and apparently I bought the cow with its leg broken off, so I couldn't use that one in today's video, but I'm going to take the chicken. I took some orange and some red paint, and I thought that I had some Waverly paint and lacquer, but it was completely dried up. So I'm using my Dixie Belle for this one. Let's pretend like it's Waverly because I had it. I just couldn't use it. I'm going to give this rooster one good coat of the red paint, and then I kind of mixed that orange in there with the red, kind of giving it some dimension, some streaks of different color. You could also do some turquoise in the back feathers. I think that would be really cute, but for the most part, I wanted to keep him pretty simple. And then I took another one of these cardstock stencils, and I'm just going through and poking out each little piece, which took a while, making sure that I didn't rip it. And then I grabbed one of these signs. Again, this came from Walmart, and I am just going to take that stencil and I put it up in the top left-hand corner, and I'm going to take the chalk paint and sage, and I just stenciled over the entire thing. Once that was done, I wanted all the letters to be connected where they had all those kind of gaps and spots where each piece isn't connected to each other. So I just took a really small detailed paintbrush that came in that set of paintbrushes that I got, and I just took that sage paint and just connected all of the letters back together. I'm gonna add some glue to the back of my rooster, and I glued that down more to the left-hand side of the sign, making sure that I didn't cover up those letters. And then I'm going to take some trim. I have a thinner piece, and then I also picked up this thicker piece of trim, and I'm going to cut these down so they can wrap around the top and the bottom portion of the sign. And I'm just going to use some hot glue to adhere those to the back. And I just layered that smaller trim piece right on top of the bigger trim piece. And I'm going to take some greenery that came off of that pick from Walmart. I took 2 pieces and glued them together just right on top of each other. And then I'm going to make a bow with that smaller trim. And I'm going to glue my greenery down and glue that bow right on top of it. And that is it for this DIY. I love this one. I think it was so much fun, and you could paint your rooster any color that you wanted, but I think this one is super cute. For this one, I'm going to grab the longer cutting board that I picked up, and I'm going to take the Waverly Chalk Paint in Sage, and I'm going to give this about 2 good coats of paint, front, back, and the sides. I'm going to take these stencils. These were the kind of more farmhousey ones. And this one that says Farmhouse on the side, I'm going to tape that down to the side of my cutting board. I wanted this, centered to the very end. And I'm going to take some Waverly Chalk Paint in white, and I'm just going to stencil that on there. I also took some washi tape and taped it down, as well as taped over any places that I might accidentally get some paint onto where I didn't want paint. So just keep that in mind while you're stenciling. You want to make sure that you have everything covered up around you where you don't want to get paint, because if you're anything like me, you'll make a mess and get paint everywhere. And then I also took that little flower that's next to the word Farmhouse, and I just centered that at the bottom right next to the word, and I taped that down and also went over it with some Waverly Chalk Paint in white. To finish it off, I'm just going to tie some twine around the top and tie it in a little bow. I wanted to keep this one really, really simple, and I think that it turned out adorable. For this DIY, I grabbed this plank sign. I didn't pick it up in this haul, but I did have this in my stash, and it did come from Walmart. And the first thing I'm going to do is give it a coat of this Beryl Brown Rust-Oleum wood stain. I thought this color was really pretty. I liked that brown kind of gray look to it, and I just gave this entire thing just one good coat of stain. I set that to the side to dry, and I'm going to use this Waverly Chalk Paint in Dusk, and I'm going to take the mason jar cutout that I also picked up, and I'm going to paint this entire thing, and I ended up doing probably about 3 coats. Again, I don't know what it is about these colors that are new. At least I think they're new. Are they not new? You guys let me know. I haven't been able to find Waverly in stores for a really long time. So let me know if you guys have tried these paint colors and if the consistency for you guys is the same. I don't know, but I felt like when I was painting it, you could still see the wood grain through it even after I'd gone over it. And that's just not been my experience with Waverly paints in the past. So let me know in the comments if that's something that you guys have noticed. I'm going to take these stencils that is all about home and happy places and all the fun home things, and I found the one that says let's stay home, and I'm just using another stencil brush and going over that with some white chalk paint. Again, just doing up and down dabbing motions so that I don't get any bleeding. There was a little bit of bleeding around the L, but nothing too crazy. And I'm just going to glue that to the very front bottom of the plank sign. I also grabbed some greenery that I found from Walmart and these flowers. Technically, I guess these are for fall and autumn, but I thought these looked perfect. I thought they were really cute, and I just started gluing everything down to the top. So I glued my greenery down first and then added my flowers on top of that, and that is it for this DIY.
And that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this kind of video where it's a, specific store themed using only their products. Obviously, you don't need to go to Walmart and buy everything that I did because I pretty much bought way too much. There's way more things here that I picked up that I would use in today's video, so I have them to use for different videos. And obviously paint, it's gonna take a while to use that up too. So I just thought it was fun to give myself a little challenge to only be able to use the things that I found from that store. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know which store that you guys would like to see next. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!